Christopher Columbus, an Italian explorer, embarked on a journey in 1492 that would reshape the world. His voyages across the Atlantic Ocean marked a turning point in history. They connected Europe with the Americas, sparking a new era of exploration and trade. Columbus's voyages had profound consequences, particularly for Spain. They paved the way for Spain's dominance in global trade. This essay will delve into the impact of Columbus's voyages on Spain's trade monopoly. In the 15th century, Europe was captivated by the allure of the East. Spices, silks, and other exotic goods from Asia were highly prized. However, the traditional trade routes were long, arduous, and controlled by intermediaries. European powers sought a more direct and profitable route to the East. Columbus believed that by sailing west, he could reach the Indies, as East Asia was then known. He underestimated the Earth's circumference, unaware of the vast American continents lying between Europe and Asia. Despite numerous setbacks and rejections, Columbus persisted in his quest. He eventually secured the support of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain. The Spanish monarchs, eager to expand their influence and wealth, saw an opportunity in Columbus's ambitious proposal. They agreed to finance his expedition, hoping it would give them an edge over their European rivals, particularly Portugal, in the race for Asian riches. Columbus's voyages were not solely driven by economic motives. They were also infused with religious zeal and a desire to spread Christianity. The Spanish crown, deeply Catholic, saw the voyages as an opportunity to convert indigenous populations to Christianity. Columbus himself viewed his mission as divinely ordained, believing he was chosen by God to discover new lands and spread the Christian faith. This fusion of religious fervor and economic ambition would shape Spain's approach to colonization and trade in the Americas. Columbus embarked on 4 voyages across the Atlantic, each financed by the Spanish crown. His first voyage, in 1492, led him to the Bahamas, which he mistakenly believed to be part of the East Indies. He subsequently explored other Caribbean islands, including Hispaniola, present-day Haiti, and the Dominican Republic and Cuba. While he never reached the mainland of Asia, his voyages opened up a new world to European exploration, conquest, and exploitation. Columbus's voyages shattered the European worldview. The existence of 2 vast continents teeming with unknown plants, animals, and people came as a shock. This new world, as it came to be known, presented both opportunities and challenges for the European powers. Spain, with its early foothold in the Americas, was poised to capitalize on these opportunities and establish its dominance. The discovery of the Americas had profound implications for global trade. It shifted the center of economic power from the Mediterranean to the Atlantic. The influx of gold and silver from the Americas into Spain fueled its rise as a global power. However, this newfound wealth came at a heavy cost, as the indigenous populations of the Americas were subjected to brutal exploitation and their societies were decimated. Section 5. Dividing the spoils. Columbus's arrival triggered a scramble among European powers for control of new lands. Spain and Portugal turned to the Pope to mediate their claims. The Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494 divided the non-Christian world. The treaty drew a north-south line through the Atlantic. Lands east belonged to Portugal, west to Spain. This division had far-reaching consequences. Spain gained control over most of the Americas. Portugal controlled Brazil and parts of Africa, central to the slave trade. The treaty laid the groundwork for European colonialism and exploitation. Section 6. The Columbian Exchange. Columbus's voyages initiated a period of unprecedented biological and cultural exchange between the eastern and western hemispheres, known as the Columbian Exchange. This exchange had a profound impact on the environments, economies, and societies of both worlds. It led to the introduction of new crops, animals, and diseases, transforming the landscapes and demographics of both continents. From the Americas, Europe received valuable crops like potatoes, tomatoes, corn, and tobacco, which would revolutionize European agriculture and diets. In return, Europeans brought horses, cattle, pigs, and wheat to the Americas, along with devastating diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza. These diseases ravaged indigenous populations, who had no immunity to these foreign pathogens, decimating their numbers and weakening their resistance to European conquest. Section 7. A monopoly of power. The Colombian exchange, while facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas, also served as a conduit for Spain's growing dominance in global trade. Spain established a complex system of trade routes and colonies in the Americas, extracting vast wealth from the region. Silver and gold, mined by indigenous labor in the Americas, flowed into Spain's coffers, enriching the Spanish crown and fueling its military ambitions. Spain's monopoly on trade with the Americas allowed it to dictate the terms of exchange, often to the detriment of its European rivals. The influx of precious metals from the Americas led to inflation in Spain and throughout Europe, disrupting economies and contributing to social unrest. Spain's wealth and power, built on the backs of indigenous labor and the exploitation of American resources, would eventually decline, but not before leaving an indelible mark on the global economy and power dynamics. Section 8. The human cost. The establishment of Spain's trade monopoly came at a devastating human cost. Indigenous populations in the Americas were subjected to brutal exploitation under Spanish rule. The encomienda system, a system of forced labor, enslaved countless indigenous people, forcing them to work in mines, plantations, and other enterprises for the benefit of Spanish colonists. This system, coupled with the introduction of European diseases, led to a catastrophic decline in indigenous populations and the destruction of their cultures and ways of life. The transatlantic slave trade, which emerged in the wake of Columbus's voyages, further compounded the human tragedy. Millions of Africans were forcibly transported across the Atlantic to work on plantations in the Americas, replacing the dwindling indigenous labor force. The slave trade, a brutal and dehumanizing system, left an enduring legacy of racism and inequality in the Americas and beyond. Section 9. A legacy forged. Christopher Columbus's voyages were a pivotal moment in human history. They sparked a new era of exploration, conquest, and globalization, but also ushered in an era of colonialism, exploitation, and transatlantic slavery. Spain's trade monopoly, built on the backs of indigenous labor and the plunder of American resources, had a profound impact on the global economy, power dynamics, and the course of human history. Columbus's legacy remains a subject of intense debate. While some celebrate his voyages as a triumph of human exploration and ingenuity, others condemn him as a symbol of colonialism, exploitation, and genocide. His voyages serve as a stark reminder of the complexities of human history, the interconnectedness of our world, and the enduring legacy of our past actions.